The one mistake you are making in your permanent residency application is not matching your skills to the right occupation. You can only move to Australia if the occupation that you are nominating is falling under these visa categories. With this particular degree, what are the job titles that you can go for? I would suggest go and look for other occupation and go down the list that you made initially. I made one mistake that cost me a lot. And yes, today I'm going to break down how to choose the right occupation based on your qualifications and work experience, what is right for you and what is not. Hi, I'm Akanksha and I drop a video every Sunday on my channel to make traveling, living and moving abroad super easy. As always, timestamps are in the description box below, and I know how valuable your time is and we all know why we are here. So let's get straight into it and talk about how to find the right occupation to match your skill set. Ever since I posted this video on some myths about studying in Australia, I got bombarded with so many questions on my Instagram, on my YouTube, on my LinkedIn, and I summarized them all to one thing: that people find it difficult to understand which occupation to nominate. So if you want to apply for permanent residency, there are mainly 3 visa types that you will be looking at. There are more, but these 3 visa types are the primary ones that most of the people look at: 189, 190 and 491. These visas allow you to stay and work in Australia permanently, and I will break down all 3 visa types. But before we get into it, a small disclaimer: I am not a migration agent. I am not qualified to provide any migration advice. This is not migration advice. This is just simple information that I have gained through my personal experience, and I'm just sharing it with you all. So if you want like a professional advice, you need to go to a professional. I am not the person for professional advice. 189 is the skilled independent visa, which allows you to stay and work anywhere in Australia. You don't have to commit to one city or one state. It is like you're free to move and live anywhere in the country. 190 is similar to 189. However, you choose a state and apply there. If they find that you are qualified to work there and they need you, they nominate you and offer you 5 extra points. So state nomination is 190 and you're morally obligated to stay there for about 2 years and serve the state. However, 491 is a little different. It is a provisional visa where you have to choose a specific regional area and see if the occupation falls under the regional areas list. And then once you nominate and then get approved, you get 15 extra points. However, you can only move to the regional area you have nominated. You cannot live anywhere else. You cannot live in the cities, and it is a visa conditions. Once you fulfill the visa conditions within the given tenure, you get eligible to apply for the further permanent residency. And yeah, a lot of people are going for that because it's also a pathway to permanent residency. However, 491 is not exactly permanent residency. It's a provisional visa with conditions. Okay, I feel like we're going down the rabbit hole, so I will stop there with explaining the different types of visa. And if you think that this information was super useful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button because I really appreciate that. It helps me grow and understand what you like. Now the main question: which occupation should you nominate? Should it match your education qualification? Should it match your work experience, or both? I know it's kind of confusing, but here are 5 steps to find out the right occupation depending on your background. Let's start with education. Take out all your degrees and all your mark sheets. Make a list of the name of your degree and the things that you have studied. Once you have the list, go on Google and search that with this particular degree, what are the job titles that you can go for, and make a list of that as well. So for example, if I have studied bachelor's in forensic science, I would go on Google and just search Bachelor's of Forensic Science careers. So it will give me a list of the things that I can work for, and I will note down all the occupations that I think are relevant to my education. And this is what is going to help you to find the right occupation in the list. Now go to Australian skilled occupation list. I have put down the link of this page in the description box below, but if you want, you can just simply Google it, skilled occupation list Australia. The first link with that says IMMI Home Affairs, that's the list. Over there on this page is a small search bar. You type the name of your degree here, and if the degree doesn't work, for example, if I've studied forensic science, I put in forensic, it doesn't work, I will start putting down the career titles that I found out on Google. So I can work as a toxicologist, so I would search toxicologist. I can work as a life scientist, I would search life scientist. and see what occupations are available under those career titles or like degree name. Let's keep forensic science aside because I know that doesn't exist. So I will take another example of BBA, Bachelor's of Business Administration. I can't speak today, so pardon me for all the errors I'm doing. What I would do is find out all the career titles that are available based on this particular degree, write them down, go on skilled occupation list, and first start searching with just writing business. I mean, if you write the whole degree, obviously it will not come in, so you need to find out the keyword that you think would have like the occupation name. So business is the good keyword. I would just go and put in business, and then I find out all these occupations that are related to business. From this, you need to scrutinize what is relevant to the studies that you have done or the work experience that you have. Maybe you find out that management consultant sounds right. You have studied something like this, you have a work experience in this particular field or closely related to it. So what we are going to do is shortlist the occupations that sound right. And here, let's go with management consultant. Go to this number right next to the occupation name, which is called ANSCO code. And there it's a link. It opens up another page which tells you all the tasks and duties that the Home Affairs thinks is relevant to that particular occupation. And this is exactly what you have to look at. Now read the tasks properly and match them with the list of courses that you had made initially and see what matches. You need to make sure that what you have studied matches at least 80 to 90% of the tasks mentioned in this page. If it matches 100%, even better. There's like no problem in that. Then that is your occupation. If it does not match, or if you think that only half of it matches, I would suggest go and look for other occupation and go down the list that you made initially and see what else matches and repeat the same process. Oh, and if you reached here, I would really appreciate if you drop a heart emoji in the comment section below, so I know that you like this kind of content and I would make more of it in future. What if you're working? Even better. Do the same thing. Make a list of all the job duties involved right now or even previous jobs that you had, and again match those job duties with the tasks that are mentioned in the ANSCO code page. At times there are possibilities that if you don't have education background in a particular field, your job experience can substitute for that. In my case, I do not have educational background in marketing, but I have 3 years of experience in marketing, so I can submit my non-relevant degree plus my work experience of 3 years and get it assessed and nominate the occupation. So if you have a large amount of work experience, that can be used to nominate an occupation as well. But remember, 80 to 90% of your job duties should match with the tasks mentioned in the ANSCO code. Next step is that we are going back to the list and finding out what visas is it available for. So at a lot of times, certain occupations are only available for certain visas, and it might not be available for maybe 189 visa, but it's available for 190. So that becomes a bit of a tricky situation where you don't have many options. So you go back and see the number of visas that it is available for. If it's available under 189, 190, 491, you're all sorted. If it is not, then you need to find out other occupations that you can nominate. I know you might be thinking, where did skills assessing body or authority or where does assess come from? Well, because just finding out the occupation is not all. How you nominate an occupation is through having a positive skills assessment, and to get that positive skills assessment, you have to apply through the relevant skills assessing body. And how do you find the relevant skills assessing body? Go back to the list. We are going back to the list again. The last column mentions the skill assessing body for that particular occupation. A majority of occupations are assessed through VetAssess, even mine. But if you're in IT, it will be ACS. If you're in engineering, it will be, I think, Engineers Australia. And by the way, if you like this video and made it this far, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, because I really appreciate that. It helps me grow. It has helped me reach 13,000 subscribers, and I also can create more things for you just like this one. When I was in Australia and I was preparing my file for permanent residency, I made one mistake that cost me a lot, which was my mistake. It was a mistake that could have been avoided, but because I did not go through the whole thing and I just made a rushed decision, it cost me a lot. Since I was studying Masters in Cybersecurity, Intelligence, Policing and Counterterrorism, I thought I could go and find out if cybersecurity is an occupation. I went in there in the skilled occupation list. There was nothing called cybersecurity, but there is something called ICT Security Specialist, which I thought might be relevant. Again, I was not paying attention, or I don't know what kind of mindset I was in, that I thought this is the right occupation for me. But I went in there and I submitted my degree for assessment. I did match the tasks with the things that I had studied, and around 30 to 40% of them were matching. And please note that cybersecurity was only 25% of the whole degree that I had studied, so it was not a major subject, which was also something that I overlooked. I went to ACS and I just read the overview on their website, and I thought that yeah, my degree matches with that, and it's an ICT major, which was not the case clearly. But that time I did not really think much of it, and I applied for the skills assessment, and it is expensive, so I paid the whole amount and I applied for it. And one thing that I later realized that I had not really read was the guidebook, which mentions that you need to have an ICT major degree plus 2 years of work experience in the last 10 years, and that is when you can go and apply for the skills assessment and hope for a positive outcome. I did not see that. If you have an ICT minor like I did, mine was an ICT minor, I needed 4 years of work experience, which I did not have, and that was the big mistake that cost me time. It delayed my application process, obviously, because the whole assessment took a lot of time and it came back negative, and then by the time it came back, I did not have time to go for further assessment on any other occupation. So I had lost all of that time, I had lost money, and I had to take up other measures to move out of the country and blah blah blah, all of that. I have made like whole detailed video about my whole mistakes, journey, experience in Australia. It's all here, like somewhere around here, I think it's here, and you can go through that. You can watch all the videos and see what all I had gone throughout my whole journey there, which was fun. But yeah, it's something to learn from. So moral of the story is that you really need to go through the handbook, read the eligibility criteria, read the requirements, match your tasks and your background, and see what matches up, what overlaps, and only if the majority of it is matching, that is when you go and nominate that occupation and apply for skills assessment under that nominated occupation. Now you know how to nominate an occupation for permanent residency, and while I have you here, why don't you go to my Instagram and TikTok, where I post more regularly and post more stuff, where I also take questions. And if you want to talk to me one-on-one about things, just text me there. I might not be very active there or like very prompt, but I try and help out everyone I can. And also don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because I promise you there's something very big coming up in the next few weeks. I have some big things that I have lined up, big updates, and you don't want to miss that. Something life-changing is going to happen. I don't want to give out any hints, but there are things that I want to share with you, and if you don't hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications, you will miss out on them. So I hope this video helps you to understand which occupation is right for you and what you need to do for nominating and finding out what occupation you should nominate. And I will see you next week with another video. I hope you like this one. Bye.